Hello and welcome to the Dirty Blonde podcast. This is your blonde, Bridget B, and I might sound just a little bit nasally, but that's because I have just been recovering from AVN. If you're not familiar, AVN is this very sexy Oscars of porn, and it takes place in Las Vegas in January once a year, and I was very happy to be there this year. However, your girl was recovering, and now the voice is a little bit of a consequence, so I'm going to try and make it as sexy as possible, but don't come at me. Now let's go ahead and we're going to dive in today on exactly what this show entailed. I've gone through it in past episodes, but this year it was definitely different, and I want to touch on why, and also my very, very sexy experience on the hotel floor. And your girl definitely got a Hall of Fame from Brazzers. Who, me? Stay tuned. The Adult Video Network. It's been around for years. It's one of those aspects of the industry that has been so supportive by introducing new models, doing interviews. You get to get a really sexy magazine once a month. Go ahead to avn.com and you can see all the things. So for a couple of years, the show was taking place, obviously, virtually, which doesn't give the same va-va-voom as it does when you're in person. Nothing beats being in person. And this year, we were back in Las Vegas. We were hosted by Resort World. Let me give you a little bit of a side rant on this. I am all about travel sustainability in terms of, be good to the environment. Sure. I can't believe that I could not get a single human being to answer any of my calls while I was in the resort. The thing is, they would answer, but it was like answered in Mumbai or in Paris, Texas. Like there was no one at the front desk. And forget about wanting to get a damn towel. In order for me to get a towel, I had to call housekeeping, which was, of course, automated. So it was a robot. And the robot would ask me what did I want? And I'm like, I would like 2 towels. However, I would like maybe a bigger one and then a facial towel. Oh, no. All it understood because of AI and recognition was towels. So it just said, beep. Okay, towels coming right up. When I go to Las Vegas, there is something so sexy and just so old school about it for me still. I'm still that girl that wants to go to Paris Hotel and eat at that restaurant that's on the floor, that's Italian, with the checkered placemats, where the guy who's feeding you or serving you is, treating you a little bit like a dick. I enjoy old school, which is why I love Win and Encore, because they serve you room service with actual metal utensils. Oh my gosh, can you believe it? While at Resort World, when I wanted to get room service, their claim to fame was that, now you can get over 40 vendors delivering to your room through Grubhub. Are you kidding me? How was it that a room that was so expensive for 3 nights and I couldn't even get room service that was specific to my needs? Grubhub is great, sure, and Uber Eats and all that when you're home Come on. You're on holiday. You're on vacation. Hopefully there's someone sexy and fine next to you. Or in my case, it was a pizza box and that I had to go get myself from downstairs. I couldn't believe it. And Resort World was lovely, but they did not announce that AVN was coming in until the very last minute. So there was a lot of people that were coming in from out of town in their rooms, not knowing that there was a complete sex expo being held downstairs. So could you imagine, to their surprise, when they see all these half-naked chicks walking around and tons of people, because it was definitely very busy, and they did not even know. When this show was taking place at Hard Rock, which shout out to Hard Rock, you could feel the energy as soon as you pulled in a taxi cab. Like, you knew this show was happening, the show was taking place, you knew who was hosting it, you knew everything. But when you pulled into Resort World, you had no idea until you got to the conference room, which that's a whole nother situation. They held the awards in a faraway land. We had a white party, which tends to happen every Friday of the award ceremony, where everyone dresses in white and we all get to hang out with each other. That was being taken place in an even farther away land. We were being kind of like that little dirty secret. And if you went online, you did not see that it was there. You couldn't tell that AVN was happening. So call me diva, call me what you want. I like my metal utensils. I like talking to a human being, and I enjoy being, what's that word? Not reciprocated, but being invited, feeling welcomed, feeling like that dirty little secret when the room was like over $2,000 for 3 nights. I don't think so. So for next time, I will be staying at Win or Encore for sure. Anyway, so with AVN happening for the first time live, we had Rhea Sunshine and Abella Danger hosting. We had Matt Rife, who you can follow on Instagram at Matt Rife. And he was great hosting the show. And I, your little blonde here, got to do the AVN red carpet front of house. So as all the stars were coming in, they were talking to me. And we were talking and shooting the shit on the carpet when I realized that this really tall kid was walking my way. And obviously, I knew who he was, but you kind of want to play off a little bit and see what they're going to tell you. And the one joke, oh Lord, help me. I can't believe I kept telling Young Gravy, call me Turkey. I'm your turkey looking for my gravy. What the hell? I'm not even going to go there. Just really great. Everyone looked gorgeous. Anna Fox looked beautiful. She looked like such a queen. And I loved that so many of the girls and a lot of the couples really, really brought their A game. And that's one of the things that AVN is definitely known for within the industry. We don't come in, I mean, some of us do, but for the most part, we come in dressed more than your Emmys, your Grammys, and your Oscars. Like these girls, Anna Fox, Jesse Andrews, again, Riley Reid, Rhea Sunshine, Phoenix, trying to remember the girls, forgive me for the names not popping up right away. But when it comes on Showtime, I'll be like, oh yeah, her. And the boys, Ramon and his date, Gia Durza. Gia looked fantastic. A lot of these couples were matching. Velvet was a big, massive game and on the carpet. And we take pride in who we are. Why wouldn't we? And they really brought it out this year, and I was so impressed, and I was so damn proud. Everyone looked just so fucking good and sexy. And I'm trying to think if there's anyone that I really wanted to interview, but I didn't get to. Oh, we had some really, really great musicians come on, and Kehlani was on. She looked so good, and it was such a pleasure to interview her on the carpet as well. Make sure and check her out. Kehlani. She looked fantastic, and she did such a good job. Cardi B, a couple of years ago, don't tell anybody. This is between us. She made us wait like 3 hours. We love the girl, but she made us wait for a hot minute. The show started on time. They did a really great job this year. If I could change anything about the show, I don't think so. I think it ran pretty smoothly. I would hope that they bring back Hard Rock, please, or even just host it with a resort that he really wanted us to be there. But for the most part, I wouldn't have changed a thing. Brazzers named me, and that's improper grammar. Mick Blue, Charles Dara, the ever so sexy Johnny Sins, Madison Ivy Phoenix, Marie, Ariel, Kieran Lee, of course. All of us got given the Hall of Fame Awards, which was a first of its kind for Brazzers. And I just want to give a round of applause to Brazzers for, oh man, what? I was dumbfounded. Now, of course, there were some that weren't within house. Ava Adams, I remember hearing her name. So round of applause to everyone. But it's the inaugural, the very first one of its kind. So if I'm not mistaken, every year for AVN, Brazzers will be giving out these awards to their Hall of Famer inductees, I think, because there's not many of us left. You know what I mean? If you think about it, between Mick Blue, Scott Niels, Johnny Sins, Charles Dara, Phoenix, Asa Akira. How could I forget? My girl was there. It was so good to see her. She cracks me up every single time. She makes me laugh. I love her so much. And that's a real MILF. That's a real MILF now. There's really not that many of us left. And the thing is, for those of us that are, Alexis Fox, Cherry LaVille, the ones that are Joanna Angel, Anna Fox, etc., the OGs of us that are around, along with the males of the industry, we're doing pretty fucking good. You guys are wanting it. You guys are really receptive to it. That's the word. That's the word I was looking for. Receptive. You guys have been making it possible for us to continue entertaining. And not only could I be more grateful, but I know everyone else in the industry that appreciates it so much. So Brazzers did it within house. Everyone was around. And then your girl started crying. Well, when Phoenix gets on this show, we're gonna dab into it, because it's pretty wild journey that she and I have. And I won't dive into it too much, but however, getting the award and standing up there in front of all the fans, and then looking to my left, and then look at the row of the Scott Nails, etc., and Kieran, Asa, and then looking to my right where Ricky Johnson was emceeing for us, and then looking out and seeing Alexis Fox and Danny D, Jordy. When you put all of us together in an industry that is being very much more receptive nowadays, but it's taken a road. It's been quite a fucking journey. And to see all of us together in one room, it really got us emotional. We were crying because Brazzers opened the doors for me. As I mentioned in an episode earlier, season one of my very first fully integrated episodes and scenes that I did was called Rich as Fuck. Look it up. It's on Brazzers. It's a 4-part series, but it is the first time that a studio believed in me and gave me the chance to carry an entire series. If someone has the behind the scenes for whatever the fuck happened on that floor on AVN Brazzers booth while I was crying, getting this award, please send it to me. Send it to your girl so I can see it and remember for always. Now, between crying and not feeling welcome to Resort World, there was another little secret that happened to me on the floor. Stay tuned. Did you miss out on AVN last weekend? Well, shame on you. However, this weekend you are in luck. If you are in the Hollywood area, I would not miss the X-Biz Award Show taking place this weekend. As you're listening to the podcast, it is taking place at Hollywood Palladium, Sunday, January 15th. Make sure and grab your tickets as they are welcoming fans from all over the world. And the X3 Expo is taking place this Friday and Saturday. Meet all your favorite stars from Angela White all the way to me. Make sure you go to www.xbizawards.com and get your ticket for one of the sexiest award shows of the year. Welcome back. Now, I have a little bit of a story. Sit back, relax, enjoy what happened to me on the floor. Now, when you are a lady like myself, and I say lady very loosely, I'm a woman. I am all woman. Lady might be questionable, but I am definitely a woman. You wear shoes, and you wear very expensive shoes. You wear very high shoes. I was in a pair of Louboutins all weekend. So here I am while girls are wearing their sneakers, their Air Jordans, which bless them, they look so cute. But that's not who I am. So even if I'm wearing a really long dress or a really long pair of pants, I'm wearing high heels. So I'm leaving the white party and my feet start to buckle. Oh, they were hurting. I will be damned if I walk through a casino with no shoes on. I could be bleeding, which I was, but I will never take off my shoes. That is some amateur shit. So when I was walking through the casino, there was a really good looking couple. She was playing the slots and he was on the roulette table. So I took a pause and I kind of was catching my breath. And she looked at me. She's like, oh my goodness, I love your lubes. They're so stunning. I'm like, oh, thank you so much. And then I'm like, actually, you were wearing my most favorite pair of shoes. And she was wearing the brand new Jimmy Choos that are like diamondy around. It's one of those. Anyway, the husband comes over and then he's like, honey, do you know who you're talking to? She's like, only the most fabulous girl in this casino because she knows who my shoemaker is. And he goes, this is Bridget B. And then she looks at him and she's like, I I don't know. And it's fine. Not everyone knows. It's okay. And he goes, only like legend in porn. And I'm like, oh, don't call me that. I mean, you could, but don't call me that. And she's like, oh, so you're watching porn now? Uh-oh. A massive brawl just happened. So I braced myself. I'm like, I'm going to have to get out of here. I'm going to go to jail. Something's going to happen. And I stood there and he's like, well, how do you think I know to go down on you? And she's like, what do you mean? And he's like, I've been watching her for like 5 years and she's one of my favorite MILFs. And then he looks at me and he's like, there's this thing that you do in your girl scenes that I've been doing on my wife. And he's like, haven't you been getting off like all the time? She's like, yeah, well, not all the time. And I'm like, oh, here comes the truth. And now what happened was, instead of bickering, his wife wanted some tips. And she's like, well, girl, sit down. We're going to talk. So while the husband started playing even more roulette or craps, whatever he was playing, me and the wife were going back and forth on some tips and tricks on going down, on giving blowjobs, and etc. How amazing was that? This is one of those things I love about Vegas. The most unexpected things will happen. I'm not going to give out their real names. They know who they are. And shout out to you and you. I'm going to call you Jimmy Choo, and you know exactly who you are, girl. But that made me so happy. And if it wasn't because my feet were buckling, if it wasn't because my lubes, I was bleeding in my shoe, I never would have stopped. Hence, therefore, she never would have said, oh my God, I love your shoes. So this is what Vegas does. It just brings out the kink in everyone. And I loved it. Which brings me to, I'm going to give you guys my 3 top sexiest date tips for Las Vegas in no particular order. With many of us being in the creative space, with many of us even wanting to kind of tap into our sexy being, a really sexy date is to arrange a photography session with your girl. There are many fabulous photographers, amazing makeup artists that are right in Las Vegas. If you do your little homework and you look up in advance, hire a glam squad. Make your girl feel fabulous. Then you hire a photographer that usually the makeup artist will be friends with. And then a location. One of my favorite locations is El Cortez Hotel right in downtown Las Vegas. Granted, a little bit older, but that's what's so fabulous about it. As I said earlier in the episode, I'm old school. I love it when something has a little bit of history, something's a little bit vintage, a little bit retro, a little bit femme fatale, a little bit, unexpected. By having the glam squad, the photographer, and then a really pretty dress, almost wedding-like, but not quite, or a really sexy lingerie from Asian Provocateur or Honey Burdette waiting for her in the room, now you're creating a moment that even if the two of you break up, not only will those images be some of her favorite, but she will forever have to thank you for them. So arrange a really sexy photography session for your girl to feel her very best. And then when you're done, now El Cortez is definitely look it up online, but they have some really fabulous niche suites, and you can get them ahead of time, and you can have it all done in the room. Glam squad, photographer, everything in the room. And then when she's done with her session, which could be 2 or 3 hours, you get her dress. Please make sure the dress is her size. And now you take her out on the town, a night out. Oh, that is a perfect date. Which leads me to number 2. Mayfair Club is speakeasy meets vintage meets all the things. And you get to see a show and have fabulous dinner. And Delilah's is at Win Encore, which, of course, where else would I go? Those 2 places, and this is not an ad, have been iconic on the Vegas Strip. There's a lot of other places, of course, but if you're going the Dirty Blonde way, you can take some amazing pictures, and it really lends to a sexy evening. Nowadays, we're kind of staying away from the big mega clubs, I've noticed. I'm sure you've noticed if you've been on the Strip. And these lounges, as a woman who loves her quality, I highly recommend those 2 places. And last but not least, to end the evening between midnight and 3 a.m., strip club. Come on. Where else would I say? But not just any strip club. I really think that between Crazy Horse, Sapphire, Hustler, you can't go wrong. All of these clubs, and I've been to all of them as a feature dancer, or I've hosted a night, or I've just been there as Bridget B, hanging out, being drunk. They really take care of their people. You feel safe. The women are beautiful. You really can't go wrong. Crazy Horse has really good food. And if you've been there, you know what I'm saying, but their pizza is really good. Sapphire has a men's side and a woman's side. I think once a week they have the Men of Sapphire, and it has that feeling of a mega strip club. The dance floor is right in the center where the girls come in, and it's a really small stage, so it's really all about the floor. It's really all about getting all the girls on the floor, and you really get to see everyone, and it goes for miles. I mean, that thing is huge. And Hustler has an old school vibe. I was just there a couple of months ago featuring, and I hadn't been there in ages, and I think they did a redo or a revamp, but it definitely feels like what old, even Crazy Horse 2 might have felt like. So definitely let me know. Let us know. What is your favorite places to go to in Las Vegas? What are your tips to make it a sexy night? Go to the Dirty Blonde Instagram at Dirty Blonde, and on all the posts, talk amongst yourselves and make sure, I always say, there's no reason to hate. Show love to each other. This is what we're about. We're about positive energy. We're about sexy energy. There's no need for any stupid shit like that. Ladies and gentlemen, what can I say? I could ramble on for hours. Thank you so much for joining me this week. Make sure and you go on to avn.com and make sure and you stay tuned in a couple of weeks, and I'm sure in a not very long, Showtime will be showing you moi, front of the carpet, and then the show. So I can't wait to see it and what you guys think. Shout out to XBiz, which is going to be this weekend. I will be presenting an award. And for all of us here at Dirty Blonde, stay sexy, stay healthy, and by all means, stay dirty. Mwah. Love you guys. Bye.